Welcome to the Museum of Western Film History in Lone Pine, California. We're conducting a virtual tour today of Gene Autry's 1947 title, Trail to San Antone. And it takes Gene all over the Alabama hills with Peggy Stewart, Johnny Duncan, Bill Henry, Sterling Holloway, and many, many horses, and an airplane. They chase each other up and down, north and south, and across the airspace. Join me. I'm Don Kelsen. But before we go, let me show you this. This is a beautiful car. It's a 1941 Buick 8 Roadmaster, and I've seated myself next to my friend Chris Langley. And this is the car that we'll see Peggy Stewart driving during today's tour of Trail to San Antone, Gene Autry's 1947 film. Besides Gene Autry and Peggy Stewart and Johnny Duncan from a scene in Trail to San Antone, directed by John English, we can put Randolph Scott here, Cary Grant and Gunga Din, Cesar Romero in Cisco Kid and the Lady, and even Tremors, Kevin Bacon. Yeah, we can. Anchor Ranch had a permanent hacienda set built from lumber that ranch owner Russ Bainauer had purchased from RKO Studios when they'd finished production of Gunga Din in 1938. Now, with Peggy Stewart looking all over for her missing stallion and finding it on Gene Autry's Flying A Ranch, which is that hacienda, her car backfires, spooking Don Diablo free, and the horse chase or chases are on with Gene Autry and Champion in pursuit into the Alabama hills. In 1990, Lone Pine, California was hosting its first film festival. In the course of the weekend, tours were brought out to the Alabama hills, and one stop was at a convertible, of all things, parked in the hills, and Gene Autry aboard Champion, his horse, they leaped over that car. It's sort of iconic. Republic Pictures in 1938 produced Army Girl for $300,000. It was its largest budget to date. It was a movie that had an armored tank racing against the U.S. cavalry in the Alabama hills, where it jumps the wall where Gene Autry jumps the convertible, all in the same footprint in the Alabama hills. When motion picture production in the Alabama hills called for a meandering creek, it was usually this spot on Lone Pine Creek near Whitney Portal Road. Since motion picture production started in the Alabama hills in 1920, the rocks have not changed much, but the creek is unrecognizable as far as reflecting what it looked like in the 30s and the 40s in these motion pictures. Vegetation and tree growth has choked this area closed. In their effort to avoid the authorities, Sterling Holloway and William Henry come upon Don Diablo, the missing stallion, tied to a tree near the creek bank. Hopalong Cassidy's False Paradise was here. Rod Cameron's Panhandle was here. Tim Holt's Border Treasure crossed the water. There was also Roy Rogers in Utah, directed by John English, the same John English who's directing Trail to San Antone with Gene Autry. Tuttle Creek and its equally meandering road, easily my favorite landscape in the Alabama hills. Gene Autry and Peggy Stewart share a fence that's been breached or fallen down or is dilapidated, and some of Gene's saddle horses have roamed onto Peggy Stewart's property, and he's gone to retrieve them. In that process, the stallion Don Diablo returns and eventually is captured by Gene. This pasture land off Tuttle Creek Road I've never seen used in another film, like John English has done here with camera angles. In 1937, George O'Brien in RKO's Hollywood Cowboy shoots in this neighborhood, but outside the pasture's barbed wire fence on Tuttle Creek Road before it was paved. And 2 years earlier than that, John Wayne and a band of vigilantes known as the Singing Riders, released by Republic Pictures, captures the bad guys on this little-used, by Hollywood, filming the location in the Alabama hills. Ted has had it. He's been told by a lot of people who surround him in this film that he's a failure. Except Gene Autry, he says he's got the skills. He's going to hire him to run the race, but everybody else doesn't think he's got the skills, left because of that accident, and he's taken off. But after this film, he becomes Robin in Batman and Robin from Columbia, their serial from 1949. In 1936, Gene Autry first co-starred with the Alabama Hills in his production of Comin' Round the Mountain, where he played a Pony Express rider, which had a relay station on this property right here that was also used by John Wayne in his production from 36, King of the Pecos. Now jump ahead to 1947 and Trail to San Antone. Gene reuses that stock footage from Devil's Horse with Harry Carey Sr. But also on this same footprint over the cabin, Gene Autry's piloting a plane searching for wild horses in Trail to San Antone. As you can see this, but it's after Gene and Peggy have safely landed after lassoing the horse. They jump in her car and they get back to this area where the horses were trapped. And that's what we're looking for, is their approach in the convertible.
But you don't know where that's at yet, though,
No.
do you?
We might be able to find it now, just because of the information that's involved in this clip. In the movie, the Buick convertible is convening on our location here on this road. In preparing for these tours in the Alabama Hills, I watch a lot of movies and guess where that scene might be, and hope I'll find it when I get out here. And one detailed shot like this one that ends the chase in this Gene Autry film, the chase of all those wild horses, where he's lassoed Don Diablo from an airplane. And that rope happens to be tied to a tire for some reason. And they make you believe that that horse has really been corralled or stuck by ending up with the tire being stuck at these rocks. This exact rock, which I'm really proud to say I've located. The personal fun in finding this now and seeing how the production company was able to thread this needle with a rope that had the tire stuck to it or tied to it, and they pulled it through and they made us believe that the horse had run through there and got stuck. But no horse can run through there, can it? That's in the Why are we to believe now that we know how the horse came through that?
Chris, you can look a little more alive too. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm sitting here, and you don't. Over now. God, that camera is awfully close. I'm gonna stop and start some prep.
Roadmaster next to my son.
Take 406.
There we go.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got to do it again since I left Mr. Langley out.
And I am your son, your firstborn. Clearly.
Chris, he is your father.
Yeah. All right.
I've just seen it.
Don, I'm glad we're dating because this is the coolest car I've ever been in. You're really quite the guy.